Welcome to the new generation of web creation, where your vision
Play solo, after work, at your own pace.
You're one sentence away from launching your website with Base 44. Since the beginning of the internet, there's never been such a fun, fast, and intelligent way to launch online. Landing pages, content hubs, e-commerce sites, you describe it and it's built in minutes. It's kind of wild how far a short prompt can get you. Right away, it generates a full site. Pages, structure, layout, design, it's all there. Next, styling. I shape it around my taste and ask for what I like. Darker palette, different font, this is the vibe. Now let's talk functionality. I want to capture emails, done. I need payments, easy. Anything else I need, I just keep going. From a few lines of text to a live website I can start sharing. No long setup, no back and forth, no waiting for anybody else. That's Base 44.
I do fashion too. I model, mainly for Ross and TJ Maxx.
Shh. Hey, you left in the club.
You fucking up my shit right now.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. First, go to Riverside and open an account. When you're ready to record,
At University of Phoenix, take one course at a time.
I was the first one to ever join the military in my family. When I got out, I knew that I
Tonight is a night of excitement and anticipation, the start of a journey into something bigger.
With the first pick in the 1997 WNBA draft, the Houston Comets select Tina Thompson.
It was an honor to be the #1 pick, but what excited me most was all of professional women's basketball was entering a new era.
Teresa Weatherspoon at the buzzer, a three! Oh, she put it in! Lisa Leslie, they got W for the first time in WNBA history.
The DNA of the W evolves. This generation has demonstrated to the world that women's basketball is fearless, unstoppable, powerful, and legendary. This is not just about arriving. This is carrying a legacy. This is the WNBA. It's what we do.
We welcome you to the WNBA Draft 2026, presented by State Street Investment Management SPY. We are at the Shed at Hudson Yards. AZ Fudd, ready to hear her name tonight. How about Marta Suarez? Yeah, terrific handbag there. Fauger, after, performing at the top of the Empire State Building in Agua Fam Tiam. The talented Spanish center ready to get selected as well. It's been a busy offseason already. Free agency, the buzz has not stopped. How about Angel Reese, traded from Chicago to the Dream? Satu Sabali joining the New York Liberty and all the talent they already have. Nneka Ogwumike, the legend for the LA Sparks, back out west with LA. You also have Skylar Diggins headed to Chicago with a completely revamped Sky this season, and Gabby Williams moving to the Valkyries. Golden State looking to build off what was a historic expansion season. Everybody filing in, and we are about ready to go as we welcome you to our perch. Hey everybody, Ryan Rucco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo, Andrea Carter. So happy to be with you for the 2026 WNBA Draft. Rebecca, I know you feel like this is an especially historic night for all the young women who are about to be selected.
Ryan, this is the best draft in the 30-year history of the WNBA to be a draftee. And it's not only because of the huge increase in rookie salaries, but the huge increase in opportunities for these players to make a roster. From last year to this year, you have 54 additional roster spots, not only because of the 2 expansion teams, because of the 30 slots you now have for those developmental players. I think you're going to see more, or you could see more rookies on opening day rosters this year than we have in a very, very long time.
Drea, we also have something else that is new, and that is some drama at the top of the draft tonight.
Yeah, Rebecca just named some guarantees, right? More money, more roster spots. You know what's not guaranteed is who is the #1 overall pick. And it's because there are few talented players that could fill a very specific need for Dallas. If Dallas wants sharp shooting, they would go with AZ Fudd. If they want a true point guard, they would go with Olivia Miles. If they want someone who is versatile and has size and can be a defensive monster on that end, they would go with Agua Fam Tiam. There are 3 players who have excellent cases to go #1 overall. And a lot of people may think they know who goes #1. I know I heard a ton of fans cheering for AZ Fudd, rightfully so, but we can't say for certain, which is different than previous years.
Yeah, we'll find out soon enough. Meanwhile, historic night for UCLA. We know that for sure. For more on the national champions, let's send things over to another Hall of Famer. Here is Holly Rowe.
Well, Ryan, it was just over a week ago that this team was making history as the first NCAA national champions, and they have a chance to make history again tonight. Coach Close, about half your team might be drafted tonight. How have you developed the talent of these people behind me, but also the character and the quality of these young women?
Well, it starts with them. They have to have the commitment to put in the work, to develop the championship habits, as well as to become pro ready. I also have an incredible staff who's been so intentional with our player development plan. So I'm just along for the ride.
Okay, the ride should be fun tonight. How nervous are we right now? Anybody? Kiki?
We're excited. What not to be excited for?
Okay, Lauren, how we feeling?
Excited.
nervous, all of it. Okay, tummies are churning. We're all very excited up here. History will be made tonight one way or the other. Ryan?
Oh, no doubt, Holly. Well, you see the potential draft picks tonight for UCLA. First of all, accounted for 100% of UCLA's points in the Final Four, something that had never been done. The draft record for most players selected in a single draft from a single school is 5 players. It's been done 4 times. UCLA has an excellent chance to have 6 players go tonight, which would be a new record. You can't say enough about Corey Close, these 6 seniors, that team, and what they've done this year. And I guess the party continues for them.
What a life-changing 8 days it has been for these young women. They bring their school their first NCAA national championship in this era, and now 8 days later, they're finding out where they're getting to go play. Nothing changes your life quite like that at that age.
Well, I think about how special this night is for everyone who is involved, right? But it's certainly special for the national championship winners that just won a week ago. And then even more so for UCLA, who has 6 draftees on their roster. And what I really enjoyed about watching UCLA was how everyone, especially the seniors, looked like they knew their role perfectly. And they executed their role to a T to contribute to the collective success. That's what you need in the WNBA, to understand your role and know how to do it with your team.
Their role tonight for all of them is to limit their nerves as best as they possibly can until they hear their names called.
It cannot be easy. Well, it is about time to officially get the festivities started tonight. For that, we send things over to the podium to the commissioner of the WNBA. Here is Kathy Engelberg.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2026 WNBA Draft presented by State Street Investment Management SPY. I say this every season, but it truly bears repeating. This is the most special night on our calendar. Tonight, we welcome the next generation of stars to the WNBA. To the outstanding draft prospects, congratulations. This moment is the result of years of dedication, sacrifice, and belief in yourselves. Take a breath, take it all in. Think about how far you've come, from early mornings and late nights at the gym to big games under bright lights, and now to this stage right here. This is your moment. And what a moment it is to be joining the W. You're joining this league at the most transformative time in our history. Together with the amazing athletes of the WNBA, we've just reached the most historic collective bargaining agreement in the history of women's sports. And we are expanding, and we're thrilled to welcome the Portland Fire and the Toronto Tempo this year to the league. We're also reaching new heights in visibility with new and renewed broadcast and marketing partnerships that are elevating our game around the world. We just unveiled our season 30 campaign, announcing that this year will be both a celebration and a launch pad, and will honor and celebrate the players, moments, and communities that built the WNBA, all while introducing our most ambitious slate of fan activations to date, creating a season-long experience that brings fans closer to the W than ever before. All of this is to say to our draft prospects right in front of me, you're arriving at the perfect moment. This is the start of the next incredible chapter of our league story, and I can't wait to see how each of you helps write it. And with that, it's time to officially get this draft started. Dallas Wings, you are on the clock.
All right, Kamish, thank you very much. Well, you take a look at consecutive first overall picks in the history of this league. Go back to Seattle, Lauren Jackson, Sue Bird. You know what that yielded? Titles. How about Seattle again, a decade and a half later? Jewel Lloyd Stewie, titles. Aces, Plum, Asia, Jackie.
Titles.
That's right. And the Indiana Fever, Hope, Aaliyah Boston, and Caitlin Clark eventually equal titles. Dallas now building their foundation with Paige Beckers, the #1 overall pick last year. And now this year, they have the #1 overall selection as well. And I know, Rebecca, what Dallas has done this offseason already, the way they've revamped the roster has caught your eye.
It's been impressive what they were able to do in free agency, especially shoring up their front court. When you look at the signing of Alana Smith and Jess Shepard, both of those players can be really helpful. Alongside Paige Beckers, Arike Ogunbowale, can they build a big three through this #1 pick?
I love the addition of Alana Smith. I mean, you talk about someone that works so hard on the court. She can defend multiple positions. Their defense immediately gets better with the presence of Alana Smith. And you mentioned shoring up their front court, which when we were debating about who the first pick is going to be, seeing the moves that Dallas made in free agency makes me lean a little more towards the AZ Fudd train for the #1 overall pick because of the way Dallas has added to their front court already.
All right, let's get the official. This is some intrigue this year on who's going to be #1. You're saying AZ, Drea.
There is intrigue. I was really thinking Awa Famtiam because not to go too deep into their matrix. When you think about someone that can set a ball screen, short roll, create out of that, where the defense, if they have to give attention to Famtiam on the inside, that opens up opportunities for Arike Ogunbowale, Paige Beckers, whether it's an on-ball screen or an off-ball screen. But I'm going AZ. She immediately feels the need of three-point shooting for Dallas.
After the way AZ Fudd was a stud in the Final Four in the national championship a year ago, and the way she was playing early on this season, I have felt all along that AZ Fudd is the right fit for Dallas.
Well, we are going to find out right now. Let's send things back to the podium to get the first pick of the draft. Here is Commissioner Kathy Engelberg.
With the first pick in the 2026 WNBA draft, the Dallas Wings select AZ Fudd, University of Connecticut.
AZ celebrating with her mom, her dad, her coach Morgan Valley here representing UConn, while Gino Auriemma is at a celebration of life for a member of the UConn family tonight. And you hear the reaction from the crowd, including her teammate once again, Paige Beckers, who you just saw celebrating, as AZ Fudd is officially the #1 pick of the 2026 WNBA draft. So the first team All-American headed to Dallas.
AZ Fudd is an elite shooter who could be an all-star as a rookie. Efficiency was the name of her game, in particular from the three-point line, where she shot 45% this season, can get to her mid-range, playmake, and also was an elite defender on the perimeter this year.
Yeah, 45%. That was a career high for AZ Fudd. She also averaged a career high 17 points per game, made 117 threes on the season. She's a sharpshooter with a high IQ, but she's also a great cutter. Excellent footwork, quick release. There are so many things that AZ can bring to an offense immediately with the space that will be on the floor for Dallas because of her presence.
She also becomes the 7th member of the UConn Huskies to be selected #1 overall. Let's send things over to Holly Rowe, who is with AZ Fudd.
Well, AZ, this moment seems destined from birth. You're named after a famous basketball player, Jennifer AZ. How did your family imagine this moment for you and help you put all the hard work in to get here?
I mean, my family means everything to me. They poured into me so much, from being my coaches, my brothers being my rebounders and passers, my grandparents, moving to Connecticut, coming to every game. Every single person in my family has done so much for me, and it means everything that they're here with me today.
One of my favorite pictures we ever saw of you is your arms saran wrapped around you. They've had a vision for how to make you better as a basketball player. How have they made you better as a person?
I mean, like I've said, they were my coaches on and off the court, but they just showed me what it means to be a great player, a great teammate, and a great person. Every single day, it was just the standard that it was like to be a great person, the excellence. I mean, I don't know, everything Oh my gosh, I don't like hearing myself.
All the boxes are checked. Thank you, Mom. Katie and Tim, you did a great job. All those boxes are checked for this young woman. You know, your whole UConn team here in the front row yelling at, cheering for you and screaming your name. How important is it for you that you have built this chemistry, not only with your teammates from UConn, but moving forward for the Dallas Wings?
I mean, the fact that every single one of them is here shows you just the chemistry and what they mean to me, the support, and I plan on bringing that, being a great teammate, doing everything I can, whatever the team needs, yeah.
Okay, comfort level, because you've been in the backcourt before with Paige, right? There's a comfort level of who you're, stepping onto the court with next round.
Oh, for sure. I'm excited to play again with Paige. I mean, she's an incredible person, incredible player, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, you, Paige, Arike, buckle up. Let's go, Dallas. This is so fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly.
By the way, I agree with Daisy. It can be a little disorienting hearing yourself reverberating.
Takes some time to get
used to. It does. It takes a moment. But really excited to see AZ in Dallas.
Yeah, certainly. I think she absolutely fits beautifully what they want to do, the kind of offense Coach Jose Fernandez wants to run. Remember, Dallas, one playoff series win since 2010. I would be surprised if this Dallas team is not certainly contending for a playoff position this year.
All right, Minnesota is on the clock right now with the number 2 overall pick. After they had the best record in the WNBA regular season last year, they also, thanks to the shrewd moves of their front office, have the number 2 overall pick this year. They will be without one key piece until midway through the year, Nafisa Collier, Drea.
Yeah, I mean, and Nafisa Collier, obviously, so much versatility, an MVP candidate. She does so many things for this Minnesota Lynx team because she will be back, because she is on the team. There are 2 areas where I think this pick could go, and that's the point guard position or the center position. We talked earlier about Atlanta Smith now being in Dallas. That's a hole to fill. I know they have Natasha Howard, and they added her this season, but to me, 2 ways that Minnesota could go with this pick.
And it's not only Nafisa Collier being out for a while. This is a bit of a revamped roster. No Atlanta Smith, no Jess Shepard, no Bridget Carlton, no Dejanay Carrington. Those were all important pieces for this Minnesota team a year ago. Number 2 pick when you've had such a great record the year before, you're building for the future. I don't even think you're considering need. Is it Fam or is it Olivia Miles that you feel like is going to be the one who can really help you long term?
Well, we're going to have that answer in just a moment because the pick is in. Let's go back to the podium right now to Kathy Engelbert to find out who the Minnesota Lynx will be selecting number 2 overall.
With the second pick in the 2026 WNBA draft, the Minnesota Lynx select Olivia Miles, Texas Christian University.
Well, Olivia Miles, the dazzling point guard, the number 2 overall pick. After all her success at Notre Dame, headed over to TCU. You see the hug for head coach Mark Campbell and the Big 12 Player of the Year there, a 3-time All-American. And Minnesota has been able to have the success they have the last couple of years without a traditional point guard. Now they certainly have one in Olivia Miles as she goes second to the Lynx.
Olivia Miles is an elite and creative playmaker in the mold of Chelsea Gray and Tisha Penichero. The numbers she put up her senior year, ridiculous. 19.5 points a game, over 7 boards, over 6.5 assists. And Ryan, yes, dazzling with her passes, the velocity that she uses to deliver them with both hands, just an elite point guard.
She has such excellent vision, the ability to know where her teammates are, where they need the ball to be able to score effectively. She is excellent in the pick and roll game. You mentioned Chelsea Gray. She told us that is her favorite player. She's also grown in her ability to knock down threes. 79% of her jumpers are off the dribble, so she can create her own shot as well as her teammates. 6 triple-doubles this season, 12 in her career.
And Olivia Miles is with Holly Rowe.
Hearing your name at number 2, what went through your mind as soon as they called out that pick?
I mean, it's an incredible feeling. So much anticipation. Oh, whoa.
It is weird. Okay, let's just get used to it. It's loud in here. This is us talking.
But yeah, the anticipation is unlike anything I've ever felt before. And then to actually hear it and to have your dreams come true, it's amazing.
We talked earlier and I said, what do you want to bring up in this interview? And you talked about the adversity that you hit in your career. The ACL, you had to sit out for a long time. This year, you rediscovered something special about yourself. What was it?
Betting on myself. At the end of the day, you and your family are the only ones that need to have your back. And I trusted in myself and knew that this decision was right for me. And I think it played out pretty well.
You're talking about going from Notre Dame to TCU, where you had an incredible year this season. I know that your family has been crucial in your journey. Tell me, you've got a little special shout out to them, don't you?
So I had my parents' names and my brother's name stitched into my suit top, if you will, and the date, of course, just to pay homage to people who have been in my life and my career and supported me through so many ups and downs and the adversity that we were just talking about. So I love them very much. They're sitting right there. I love them.
Close to your heart, what a perfect place. Last question, the Minnesota Lynx, they have championship DNA. This is one of the best franchises in all of sports. How can you add immediately when you step on that court?
Yeah, I think I have the highest IQ as a guard, and my feel for the game is unmatched. So I'm just, sorry, I didn't mean that, but I did not mean that in a harmful way, but just the way that I play and the way that I flow with the game, I feel like I can add to the team really well.
Okay, Lindsay Whalen's going to be your coach. She'll decide if you have that flair, but I can't wait for you to learn from her. She's one of the best ever. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Love that innocent confidence there, Olivia Miles. She goes 2 after AZ Fudd goes 1. Who will go 3 to Seattle? That's next from NYC. Well, AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, you see them as young girls, the first and second pick of this year's draft. Now Seattle on the clock at 3. Andrea, I know just off our open of the broadcast, something stood out to you when we talk about the revamped Seattle roster.
Yeah, we started this show and it was like WNBA headlines and showed multiple departures of superstar players, and back-to-back players were from Seattle. Gabby Williams, Neko Gumake, and Skylar Diggins. When you talk about the departures, Brittany Sykes, another one as well. They have lost big pieces from the previous season. It's interesting what they do from here.
I mean, no harm when I say this in terms of Seattle, but this is a team that is now shifting their focus to build young talent. It's okay to be in rebuild mode after you lost the veterans that they lost a year ago, and certainly not only with the number 3 pick in this draft, but in the drafts that we have coming in the next couple of years. It is a good time for a team to commit to a rebuild.
And we know trying to build with Dominique Malunga, very talented young player who was a rookie last year, who will join her in Seattle. Back to the podium to Commissioner Kathy Engelberg.
With the 3rd pick in the 2026 WNBA draft, the Seattle Storm select Awa Fam Tiam from Spain.
So Awa Fam Tiam, who there was plenty of buzz about potentially going first in this year's draft with her talent and upside. The Spanish center goes 3rd to Seattle, and now we get to see the incredible intrigue of Dominique Malunga, Awa Fam Tiam, how they fit together on the floor as Seattle shifts fully into this rebuild. Going to be so interesting to watch. And one thing we heard from so many of the Team USA players who went up against Spain in Puerto Rico just a month ago, they were all so impressed being on the floor with Awa Fam Tiam, getting to see her up close. Now we all will in the W soon enough.
See her up close, striding past them with her long strides as she glides to the rim. She's 6'4", but she's long, athletic, agile. She's so quick with her spin moves, the ability to pick and roll and create opportunities to score. She can put the ball on the floor. She can knock down jump shots. Again, at 6'4", already with guard skills and post skills. She has such a high ceiling going to Seattle. And my mind is already thinking Seattle could have a lineup of 6'4", 6'4", and 6'6" out on the court at some point.
Let's stick with the numbers. Not only 6'4" in height, 6'8" wingspan, 19 years old.
Yep.
She and Malanga can hang out at the underage clubs out in Seattle because both of them so young and a great future for the Seattle Storm team to build on.
You see the reaction at Seattle Storm draft headquarters, and Holly is with Awa Famtiam.
Well, Awa, this is such a special moment for you. Spain in the WNBA draft. We haven't this country all the time, and I know you're very proud of that. What pride do you feel right now?
Well, I'm super excited. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm going to try my best. So representing Spain for me is special, you know, being always with the national team is always special. And being here in the W, it was my dream since I was only 12 years old, and being here representing Spain is like, I'm grateful.
Your brothers are here with you tonight, and I know that they are part of the reason why you got into basketball. Tell me about Karim and Tala.
Yeah, Karim and Tala, they are two crazy people, no? They are here. Look at them, they are there with the cap and all. But yeah, I started playing basketball thanks to them. They are all of me, like they are my best friends. I always like, they are my best supporters, always with me. So thanks to them, really, for all my people, for all my friends, but more for my two older brothers.
You turned 20 in June. You've got so much upside and potential. What is the vision you have for yourself in the WNBA?
Well, I want to be myself, you know, I want to keep continue to grow up. I know that I'm younger, I'm only 19 years old, I'm going to be in the W being only 20 years old. But I know that I'm mature, I'm going to take responsibility, I want to do my best, and after I want to learn about these players in the W.
Welcome, can't wait to watch you play.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Holly. Thank you, Awa Famtiam. Going to the Seattle Storm at number 3. And next up, Washington Mystics. They are picking 4th overall tonight. They also have 3 first-round picks tonight after they had 3 last year. They have a treasure trove of upcoming picks as well. This is a team that is really built to continue to build upon who they selected last year.
It certainly feels like last year they had a vision of what the next few years would bring, not only in terms of their draft picks, but how quality these draft classes are. And you see the graphic right there of what they have had last year, this year, and then the upcoming years as well. And talking to their coach, Sidney Johnson, earlier this week, he said, we are ascending. We have a young, vibrant collection of talented players, and that is certainly the case.
And you think about the players that they chose in the draft last year, especially their first-round picks. We were blown away with what Washington was able to do. We finished that draft thinking Washington won the draft in terms of building for the future. Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen, Georgia Amore, and now a multitude of picks in this draft and a ton of talent to choose from. They could go in so many different directions. You still have Lauren Betts on the floor. You have multiple point guards out there on the floor waiting to hear their name called. So a lot of directions for Washington to go.
All right, who will Washington add to their young core? Had 2 rookie All-Stars a season ago. First time a team did that since 1999. Back to the podium, and Kathy Engelberg.
With the 4th pick in the 2026 WNBA draft, the Washington Mystics select Lauren Betts, UCLA.
Well, a pretty great year for Lauren Betts, just keeps getting better. You see the hugs from her family, the reaction from her national champion, winning head coach. The celebration for Lauren Betts, who has so many of her teammates here. And after just an incredible NCAA tournament where her already high stock just continued to rise, Lauren Betts is headed to Washington with the 4th overall pick.
Lauren Betts is virtually unstoppable in the paint, but she's effective also as both an off-ball and on-ball screener. shot blocker inside on the defensive end of the floor, but also showed that she can switch and handle players out on the perimeter. And yes, Ryan, a ridiculous performance from her all throughout the course of the NCAA tournament.
I love that you mentioned her setting ball screens and off ball screens, because a lot of times watching UCLA play, her willingness to set a good screen is what set up her seal on the inside. That level of unselfishness that Lauren Betts played with. And I love that we showed the highlights because she dominates in the paint, but a lot of those plays started outside the paint. She showed so much more mobility this season, which will certainly take her to the next level.
Set a program record, too, for most points in a single tournament, as Holly Rowe is with Lauren Betts.
Well, Lauren, they're just talking about how you have adapted and evolved this season, and we could see it on and off the court. You have changed. What changed about you that's made you such a great pick right now in the W?
I feel like I just play with joy. This season has been so special. I've enjoyed every second. I'm playing with my best friends, my sister. I've had the most amazing season, and I feel like you can just see all the positivity that I play with.
It really does show. It's also unique because you've got your table stood up, and I thought maybe they would block the entire room. Dad, mom, everybody's tall over there. We are so intrigued. I want to see you and Kiki Iriafen together. Like, how fun is this? You've played against her a lot, right?
Yes, that's my girl. That's my sister. And also, I don't know if you guys know, but my coach is on the team as well. So that's pretty interesting.
Right. Michaela Onwede, where are you? Onwede, Michaela. Okay, your coach at UCLA, assistant coach for a national championship team. She just signed a contract with Washington. So will you have to listen to her?
I'm still going to call her Coach Mick just to get on her nerves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that is so unique. Before I let you get out of here, your journey has been vast. You ended with the national championship, and now 8 days later, the number 4 pick. How would you describe this beautiful journey you've been on in life, Lauren?
It's been amazing. I've grown so much, my confidence. I feel like I've just finally owned who I am as a person, as a player, and I'm just ready to see what the future holds. I'm really excited.
Thank you. Can't wait.
All right, Holly, congratulations to Lauren. Thanks so much. Meanwhile, the Chicago Sky now on the clock with the number 5 overall pick. They have had a completely revamped roster through the offseason thus far.
Yeah, opposite of the 2 previous teams we were talking about who look like they're in rebuild mode and building through the draft, Chicago brought in a bevy of veterans and players with experience looking like they are trying to be in win now mode.
Yeah, it also looks like Chicago wants to play fast. Think about the players that they brought in: Rakia Jackson, Dejanay Carrington, JC Sheldon, Skylar Diggins. Speed on top of speed. Again, a ton of options for Chicago to go in this draft, but to me, it looks like Tyler Marsh wants to play fast.
All right, we'll figure out who the number 5 overall pick is right now. Back to the podium to learn the selection for the Chicago Sky. Here's the commissioner.
With the 5th pick in the 2026 WNBA draft, the Chicago Sky select Gabriela Jaquez, UCLA.
Well, Corey Close's hands might be sore by the end of the night with all that clapping. She's got a lot of players who are going to go this evening. And Gabriela Jaquez, there may not be a player in the draft whose stock rose more through the performance in the tournament. We all saw what she did in the national championship game, and now she joins the Chicago Sky with a roster that is ready to now compete for a postseason spot, and we have seen Jaquez's ability to affect winning. We just saw it on college's biggest stage, and now we'll get to see it in the pros.
You're right, Ryan. Gabriela Jaquez was the hustle, heart, and energy for the national championship winning UCLA Bruins. She was the ultimate glue player, and I mean that in the best way, because she could hurt her opponents in so many different ways depending on what the game calls for. Knocking down spot-up shots, active on-the-ball defense, transition, getting into the paint, layups, finishes around the rim. offensive rebounding. We saw her impact the game in so many ways on their run to the title.
The thing that was so impressive to me is this young woman has a non-stop motor, not only running the floor, but in the court, attacking the glass, the efficiency with which she plays, 50, 35, 85 performer. This is a young woman who is ready to contribute right away, also fills the need at wing for Chicago.
Well, it's time for tonight's assist, brought to you by State Farm. Gabriela Jaquez comes from a family of athletes. Grandfather Ezekiel played basketball at Northern Arizona. Parents, Jaime Sr. and Angela, played for Concordia University. And then 3 siblings, Jaime, younger brother Marcos, who's a defensive lineman at Ventura College. Of course, Jaime is with the Miami Heat, and now Gabriela has been drafted by the Chicago Sky, 5th overall, and she is with Holly Rowe.
Gabriela, you weren't as highly recruited as many of the women sitting in this room, and you had to fight for everything. Now you're one of the winningest players in history at UCLA, a national champion, and now a top 10 draft pick. How have you built yourself into this type of player?
Thank you so much. I'm just so excited to be here. So exciting. I think that just having these dreams of going to UCLA and to be in the WNBA and to just achieve them, not only just myself, but with my teammates, just really means everything.
One of your coaches, your strength and conditioning coach, told us at the Final Four that you were putting out the output on your GPS of 2 players on the court. You have so much energy. Some of your stats and what you do don't always show up on the stat sheet. How will you bring that energy and enthusiasm and really game impact to Chicago?
Yeah, for me, just going into every game, doing whatever the team needs. And, you know, every game is going to be different, but if I'm working hard and putting in all the effort, I'm just happy to do that.
You know, they have lost a few players to free agency. There's playing time to be had. How are you going to earn that spot right now?
I think just going into training camp, just excited, ready to learn, being a sponge, listening to the vets and the coaches, taking their advice, and just being myself and working hard.
All right. Being yourself has been pretty darn good, young lady. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations to Gabriela Jaquez. And yeah, brother Jaime getting ready for a playing game tomorrow with the Miami Heat, but FaceTiming in to see little sis become a pro. The Toronto Tempo, welcome to the W. They are on the clock. The 6th pick is coming from the 6 next on ESPN. We are back at the Shed at Hudson Yards, getting ready for the 6th pick of the 2026 WNBA draft. And we have expansion teams. Last year got the Golden State Valkyries. This year, welcome in Toronto Tempo, Portland Fire. Last year, the Valkyries became the first expansion team to ever reach the playoffs in the W. You see the head coach hirings this year for Toronto and for Portland. Upcoming expansion, Cleveland in 2028, Detroit in 2029, and then Philly in 2030 as this league continues to grow. We know, hey, Toronto, lovely in the summer. I mean, a terrific place to go in the summer.
I've never been. I got to go.
Well, you're going to go this year.
Spectacular.
It's spectacular.
Okay.
The Tempo, we know this, the whole country is going to embrace the team. Just how about the makeup of the roster right now as they've gone through the expansion draft and free agency, at least up until this point?
Sandy Brondello has said, you know, they're not going to be contending for a championship this year. No expansion team is in their first year. They're trying to build a strong foundation and a winning culture. She's certainly loaded up on shooters when you look at the roster they've put together right now and think a need for them could be at a big spot.
I like that you mentioned culture because you talked about the Golden State Valkyries and they had more success than anyone anticipated, and they had an excellent culture where all of the players bought in to what they were trying to do at Golden State. Certainly Toronto and Portland will try to do the same thing. When I think of culture, there are so many players available, but we talked a lot about UCLA and their culture and how they just won Dugalich, Raven Johnson, Flau'jae Johnson. So many options here for Toronto to choose from.
All right, the first pick in the history of the Toronto Tempo is in. Let's send things to the podium to find out who is going number 6 overall.
With the 6th pick in the 2026 WNBA draft and their first ever pick, the Toronto Tempo select Kiki Rice, UCLA.
3 straight UCLA Bruins in this first round as Corey Close has another headed to the W. Kiki Rice, who had such a composed, poised, effective season and tournament run, helping guide UCLA to a national championship. She will try and help guide the Toronto Tempo through their early days in the WNBA.
Drea, you talked about building culture and winning culture. Kiki Rice certainly brings that kind of experience at 5'11", a guard with size who can keep her own player in front of her, but also switch on to big. She finishes at the rim, gets to the free throw line, 39% from 3 this past season. Very good getting to her pull-up as well, but more than anything, brings that winning mentality.
Career highs in points per game, rebounds per game, field goal percentage, three-point field goal percentage. But I talked about UCLA's culture. Rebecca, you just mentioned it. Kiki Rice is really the culture setter. She's someone that players wanted to transfer to UCLA to play with. And when you talk about an expansion team and a team that is building, Kiki Rice is certainly a great piece because she's someone people want to play with.
Just the second time in WNBA history, 3 straight picks have come from the same school. Happy 16 with UConn, and now tonight with UCLA. And Kiki is with Holly.
Back to back Bruins. What's going through your mind when you and your teammates are all getting drafted so high, Kiki?
This is so special. I mean, every one of us here deserves it so much, and I'm just so proud of this group because we put in so much work over the course of these past few years, and it's such a special moment.
You know, you've made history tonight. The Toronto Tempo, a new team.
Congress, take action. It's time to pass the Clarity Act now.
It's kind of fitting. Your aunt was an ambassador to the UN, so international family and some vibes you can rely on there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, never been to Toronto, but really excited to get there. My uncle's Canadian, have some family living there, and I know it's going to be a great time.
We were talking earlier about what has been impactful for you this season as you see your teammates getting drafted, and it's that you were able to adapt your game to make all of them better. How will that translate to the WNBA?
Yeah, I mean, I take a ton of pride in just being the best teammate and figuring out how can I make everyone else better around me, how can I elevate the play of our team. And I think this year we had such a selfless group, and we did that at a really high level all around. And it was just fantastic to play on that team because we were all so selfless.
How can you be a foundational piece to a new franchise, Kiki? It's a lot of pressure, but very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, look, just really excited to get out there, get to work, get to meet everyone on the team. And I think it's going to be really important to have great leadership. I'll learn from the vets, and, you know, there's a ton of great people, really experienced people in the organization. So, yeah.
Okay, history tonight. Thank you, Kiki.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kiki. Thank you, Hal. How about the Portland Fire about to make their first selection in their franchise's history as they are in the W, one of the 2 expansion teams, Golden State last year. This year we get Toronto and Portland. Portland has already taken Bridget Carlton from Canada, right?
Another great city, by the way.
Especially in the summer.
Yeah, Powell's bookstore, you got to go.
I have been to that one. I have been.
Been to Powell's or just Portland?
Just Portland. I haven't been to Powell's.
You'll get to Powell's.
I'm adding to my list.
Yes. All right. How about their projected roster thus far? We talked about Carlton, who was taken in the expansion draft, the Canadian going to Portland. How about the rest of how things lay out right now for Portland?
Well, this is a Portland team. They want to play an up-tempo style, aggressive defensively, need another point guard. To me, Raven Johnson could be a perfect fit in this pick.
Especially when you mention defense. I mean, SEC Defensive Player of the Year. We saw her defending 1 through 4. I mean, in the national championship run, as they went in the Final Four, she's defending Sarah Strong, a big. So her defensive versatility, her poise that she plays with, her leadership. Again, when we talk about an expansion team, a culture piece. Dawn Staley told us this season, no offense to the rest of the South Carolina Gamecocks at all, but she said, I will miss Raven the most.
All right, so you both feel like it could be Raven here. We're going to find out right now. Let's go to the podium and figure out who the Portland Fire have selected 7th overall.
With the 7th pick in the 2026 WNBA draft and their first ever pick, the Portland Fire select Iana Martín Carrión from Spain.
Well, you guys talked about going point guard. We've also talked about the Team USA players responding to different players they saw on the floor. A lot of them felt like Ayana Martin was terrific after going up against her in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, certainly the lefty point guard is a very good passer, crafty. She plays hard, gets to the rim, crashes the glass. She has a decent shot from three as well. Keep in mind, she's only 20 years old. Don't know if she's going to come over and play this year, but a bright future for this young woman.
Yeah, she averaged 10 points, 4 assists on 51% from the field, 43% from three in that 2026 World Cup that you mentioned, Ryan. To me, we talked about defense. Rebecca, you said Portland wanting to play defense. Watching her long wingspan, active on the ball defender. She got a lot of deflections on the ball to get out in transition.
All right, so Martine gone. How about the best available players in the building? A lot of talent there. We've talked about this. This is such a deep draft. You look across and you see quality starters, quality rotation players well into the second round, and you see so many bright young players there who are still available as Golden State is on the clock now. And we know the Valkyries looking to build upon what Natalie Nakase, the Valkyrie front office, was able to do a year ago, becoming the first expansion team to go to the playoffs.
Well, certainly Golden State became the blueprint for what an expansion team can be. Not only did they make the playoffs, the first expansion team to ever do that, but to sell out every single one of your home games, make it a free agent destination after just 1 year. They have set the blueprint for what an expansion team can be.
They also set the blueprint for how they want to play in terms of putting up three-pointers. I mean, they didn't shoot a very high percentage from beyond the arc, but they certainly put up the most three-pointers in the league. That is a part of their game plan, their offensive attack. Interesting that they added Gabby Williams, so another huge piece for Golden State, and now they get another one.
All right, we're going to find out who it is. The 8th pick is in. Back to the podium to find out who is headed to the Bay to join the Valkyries. Here's the commissioner, Kathy Engelberg.
With the 8th pick in the 2026 WNBA draft, the Golden State Valkyries select Flau'jae Johnson from LSU.
Flau'jae's mom and brothers here supporting her. Her coach, Kim Mulkey. Flau'jae gets to stay in purple. She's headed to the Valkyries. And what a selection. We have seen how dynamic Flau'jae Johnson can be on the floor playing for LSU, and now gets to go to the Bay where you know those sold-out crowds are going to love watching Flau'jae Johnson. She goes 8th overall tonight to Golden State.
Just a second, Meg. I'm still trying to get the hang of it. Golden State team, that defense was their identity. They played at a fast pace. As you said, Drea, it took a lot of threes. Well, Flau'jae Johnson is ready to play defense at the next level. She is ready to push pace, excels when she gets out in transition. Shot a career high 39% from the three-point line this year. Certainly feels like she can fit in seamlessly with what the Valkyries are trying to do.
I mean, Flau'jae is just an incredible athlete. And you talk about someone that can get into her own bag, create her own shot from beyond the arc and in the mid-range, and then paint touches leading to kick-out. Certainly something that will be so helpful for this Valkyries team, a true special talent in multiple ways.
And Holly is standing by with Flau'jae.
Flau'jae, you have performed on many stages before. I find it fascinating that you're taking deep breaths. This stage is different for you tonight. Why?
I mean, man, when I was in high school, I wasn't ringing. You know, it took a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, and now I'm here at the draft. Like, this is incredible to me.
I remember sitting down with you when you were a freshman, 18 years old, and you said, I'm going to get drafted high. I'm going to win a Grammy. I'm going to start my own record label. And you're on your way to doing all of that. What is the next vision for you, Flau'jae?
Just keep checking those things off the list. I just got drafted. And now it's time for that Grammy. But first, I'm ready to come in. I'm ready to work, and I'm ready to get to it.
I know your work ethic is unprecedented. a young woman from Savannah. You wanted to shout out your hometown. Why?
Oh man, I'm the first ever WNBA draft pick from Savannah, Georgia. So this means so much to me.
See your brothers standing up. Your mom has poured so much into you. Your family is truly special and unique, Flau'jae. How do you describe what they have poured into you to be building for? Oh, look, okay, flex for me now. Come on. I really wanted to bring him up for the interview, but I didn't know if your mom would allow me. Come on over. Come on over. He's okay.
Come on, Aiden, come on.
Get over here.
Aiden, come on.
Come on, Aiden. Come on. Your family needs to share this moment with you, Flau'jae. I know especially your mom has been there for you for so many beautiful things. Tell me what they've meant to you.
It meant everything to me. For me, it's just being somebody that they can look up to, being somebody that they're proud to call their sister, somebody that can show them that they can do anything they want to. Be confident and walk in this world like you deserve to be there.
Everything you ever told me, I believe will happen. She's dropping a new single about the draft. When's it coming out?
Oh, it's dropping soon, but yeah, y'all just heard it when I walked across the stage. Y'all go check out Whoa.
We are definitely having a whoa moment. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. Come on, boss.
Good? Did you do good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Hal. Well, we've already had our most adorable moment of the night. You see Flau'jae's mother celebrating. We've seen some terrific tuxes from the young men at Flau'jae's table. Next up, we're going to get pick 9 from Washington and then the Indiana Fever on the clock. Who will join Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, and Kelsey Mitchell? That's next. Well, Washington has already picked once tonight, selecting Lauren Betts at number 4 overall. Who will join her with the 9th pick? That pick is in as we head back to the podium, and we'll learn the selection now from the commissioner.
With the 9th pick in the 2026 WNBA draft, the Washington Mystics select Angela Dugalich from UCLA.
A 4th UCLA player taken in this first round that has tied a WNBA record, matching UConn back in 2002. And Angela Dugalich is going to go join Lauren Betts in Washington. Dugalich, as Corey Close told us throughout the tournament, a matchup nightmare for opponents. We saw that play out. And now she takes those talents to Washington and that really impressive young core the Mystics have.
I was so impressed, Ryan, with Angela Dugalich. First of all, not just in the national championship run, but the fact that before the season, a couple games in, she told her coaches that she would be willing to come off of the bench, sacrifice a starting spot, and still thrive. She brings skill, toughness, and versatility on both ends of the floor. She's got great size, high IQ on offense, and her length on the defensive end, plus a high IQ, help her make plays. She is so fun to watch.
Yeah, Dre is certainly a pro-ready frame at 6'4", not afraid to use it, as you said, can defend on the perimeter or in the paint. Most importantly, perhaps for Washington, she is a solid three-point shooter. When I asked Sydney Johnson what their needs were for this draft, he said, shooting, shooting, and more shooting. She can bring them some of that.
And she also helps bring some history for UCLA. You see that collection of stars in 2002 from UConn, the only time we've had 4 players from one school taken in the first round until tonight, as Angela Dugalich is with Holly Rowe.
Well, Angela, we're watching you perform in the Final Four, win a national championship. I kept thinking in my mind, this is one of the most pro-ready athletes we have in the WNBA draft. How has your work with the Serbian national team and your work in Europe and your body of work prepared you to be pro-ready?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super grateful for just the opportunity to play overseas with my national team. I think it's just been a blessing to prepare me for the league as well.
You've got some other Bruins on that roster now. What does that mean to you that you very well know how to play with and alongside Lauren Betts? How does that help moving to a new team?
Yeah, that's going to be great. I'm super excited for that. Obviously, I feel like it might be, or probably will be, a smooth transition just playing with her and even getting some practice reps with Michaela as well.
I love this so much. Last question, your family's here. What do you want to say to your family?
Thank you. Hvala. Znači, ovde ne bi bila bez vas I mnogo sam ponosna I zahvalna za vas. Volim vas do Boga.
Beautiful. Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Angela. Thank you. Set a frame into this year.
Think about it. They were a title contender at the end of last year, dealing with a multitude of injuries, including to Caitlin Clark. So they should be a title contender this year. They bring in Monique Billings. They bring in Maisha Hines-Allen, another huge addition for them at the 4 spot. I think this team, outside even of their big 3, is certainly built to have a monster year this year.
I was so impressed by Indiana and the run that they went on, despite the multitude of injuries that you mentioned and so many players available that they could choose from. I think about Aaliyah Boston being on that list. I think about the relationship she has with Raven Johnson, who's sitting here waiting to hear her name called. Again, Indiana, such a solid roster, so we'll see what they do with it.
All right, we'll figure out who is headed to the Fever. The pick is in. We find out the 10th selection right now from the commissioner.
With the 10th pick in the 2026 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Raven Johnson from the University of South Carolina.
Well, Raven Johnson, after an incredible All-American season as a senior, the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. We saw her game just grow and grow throughout her career. Head coach Dawn Staley ready to celebrate the player who she has said she will miss most of all. And there have been some incredible ones who have come through that program. And Raven Johnson headed to the Indiana Fever and reunited with Aaliyah Boston, a couple of Gamecocks back there in Indiana as Raven Johnson goes 10th overall tonight.
Raven Johnson, perhaps the player whose stock rose more than any other over the course of this past season. She's always been a lockdown defender. This year, she also showed she can switch onto bigs and contain them. She's improved offensively, especially from the three-point line, shooting 40% from there, a career high. And then we saw her confidence grow throughout the season, comfortable being a go-to in late game situations.
Raven Johnson is a winner. She's a poised leader. You said it. Excellent defender at a multitude of positions. She's fearless if she switches onto a big. She has an incredibly long wingspan. And again, the poise that she plays with. I mean, she is the ultimate culture piece going to a great Indiana team.
Well, you talk about winning. How about that record? At Westlake in high school and now at South Carolina, that's a lot of winning, heading to a team that's looking to win now, and Raven is with Holly.
Well, Raven, you bet on yourself this year. You came back to South Carolina and really transformed the type of player you were. You literally could do everything you wanted. How did you make that decision, and how has it paid off walking across this stage now tonight?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, my heart is beating right now. It's beating so fast. But, you know, you dream of moments like this as a little girl. I mean, you watch people before you that get drafted, and just to hear my name called, it's a blessing, honestly.
Every time I watch you play, it brings me joy. You are a joyful person. I've watched you pour into your teammates. You bring joy to every group that you are around. How can you infuse some Ravenness into the Indiana Fever?
Yeah, my personality overall. I mean, I'm a loving, caring person. I care about my teammates, but at the end of the day, I want to win.
Winning is something you've done well. They were just showing your record. Raven, what will it take to step onto the floor? You get to be reunited with Aaliyah Boston, someone you fed a lot of passes to in your career. How can you win right away there?
I mean, just listen to the vets, listen to the people that's already on the team, and just bring what I do.
What you do has always been brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Raven. Thank you, Ollie. Here are the best available players. A lot of talent still on the board here in New York, and the 11th pick of the draft, the third of the first round for the Washington Mystics, is in. We get it right now. Going back to the podium and learning the 11th overall section, a selection from the commissioner.
With the 11th pick in the 2026 WNBA draft, the Washington Mystics select Cody McMahon from Ole Miss.
Cody McMahon, who had a terrific start to her at Ohio State, and then heads to Ole Miss. Team all conference.
Well,